What is good, homie? Hope you're doing well. So in today's video, I'll be discussing my shredding routine for 2023. And I just put 8% in the title just to make it a bit more tangible. But in this picture, I guess I was like 8.5, 9 maybe. I'm not quite sure. But in this pic, I was pretty comfortable. And I actually had to cut my shredding or my cutting phase short because I was getting too lean. So and obviously for me, biologically speaking, it's easier to get shredded because my body leans towards being less, like lower body fat. That's just genetics. But I'll be discussing what I'll be doing the next few months, starting probably like mid-September or start of September. And then, I'll be starting my shredding routine. So you can also follow me on Instagram. It's in the description if you want to, follow the journey. But let's get started. So I have a quote for you from Ziz. If you're shredded, you can get away with anything. And that's partially true. You don't have to be like ripped to the bone. But if you're in pretty decent shape, right, it just makes everything a lot easier. We are very judgmental creatures. So when we see someone and he's obese, you're probably like, okay, this guy doesn't eat healthy. He doesn't go to the gym. He probably lays on the couch all day. So you can not like exactly, but you can partially see what someone's up to during their day-to-day life just by looking at their physique. So when someone walks along, like looking shredded, you're like, okay, this guy takes the gym seriously. He showcases some sort of discipline. He has respect for his body, eats clean, eats healthy, whatever. So it's pretty easy to actually judge. Although we shouldn't, do that on a regular basis, but it is what it is. So you don't have to be absolutely shredded, but it helps a ton just to be in shape, and that takes like a few months. Probably 6 months maximum. So there's really no excuses. So I'll be starting with the main mistakes I see when people start their cutting phase, and that is they train light with more reps to burn more calories, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, you should be training as heavy as possible, and preferably even gain muscle on your cut, and that is definitely possible if you do it right. And I'll be showing how I'm going to do it. And this is actually my fourth year of cutting, like my fourth time actually doing it. So obviously I learned the previous 3 times, and I'll be showing everything in this video. And the first mistake I see is people training lighter and with more reps, and you should actually do the exact opposite. So you should train as heavy as possible with lower reps. And you don't have to do that your entire workout, just your main compound lifts, I suggest you do. So you actually need to give your muscles a reason to stay. So when you go in the gym and you start lifting, or you start your cutting phase, so you're obviously reducing the energy intake, and you're also probably like doing cardio, so it's even less energy. And then you go and lift lighter weights, your muscles are just going to deteriorate, okay? So you have to lift as heavy as possible to give your muscles a reason to stay. So, I don't know like the exact scientific reason behind it, but it's just, I've done it over the few years and it works. So, try and lift heavier than on your bulk, or at least stay at the strength level you're at peak bulk. It's basically just to prevent you from losing as much muscle as possible. So obviously in your cutting phase, you want to lose as much body fat and as least amount of muscle. Like, that's the entire goal. So you drop the calories to lose the body fat, but then you train heavy and eat lots of protein to give your muscles a reason to stay. So this is like the first mistakes I see. And here's my exact training routine. So I'll be doing like a mixture of strength and hypertrophy training. So my compound lifts and like a few other exercises, I'll be doing fewer reps, but very heavy. Okay. So, my bench press at the moment is like 100 for 4 to 5. So when I start my cutting routine, I'm going to try and maintain that. Okay. And my hypertrophy training, that's just like 10 to 12 reps, failure, the usual, okay? And then I've actually switched from 6 days a week to 5, and I find that to be extremely beneficial. I've seen some studies where they say 6 days a week is better for cutting and 5 is better for bulking. I don't know where that comes from, maybe. But 5 days a week I found to be the sweet spot for bulking. I recently switched that. So it just gives your body a bit more time to rest. And that's especially important when you're bulking. Resting is important. And cutting, I think like 6 days a week, you're training more, so you're burning more calories. Like that's the only reason I think that works. But I'll be testing that out and see how it goes. And my routine's not going to change at all, like nothing. I do the exact same training from bulk to cut. Like I don't think I'm going to change anything at all. Maybe just add an extra week of training, but I'll see. And I'll just add my exact routine in the description below, so you can follow it if you want. And it's a mixture of Jeff Nippard's training, C-Bomb's training, and I've mixed a few of my training exercises as well. So yeah, it works really well. I've been doing it from the start of this year, and I've seen, like it's weird, I've seen this year, I've seen the most amount of progress than the previous 2 years. Not combined, but from last year to this year has been I've seen a lot more improvements when it comes to my body and gaining muscle. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's a mixture of the diet, the training, the sauna maybe. I don't know. Vitamins, I really don't know. But and I also train very hard. So I don't know. But you can try it out. It's in the description below. And the diet, and that's like most people overcomplicate it so much, but you should simplify everything you do. Like there's no need to overcomplicate anything really. So exact same to diet. It's just the exact same as my bulking diet, just less. So what do you, like when you see your dog's overweight, right? What do you do? Like do you give him keto diet, vegan diet maybe you cut out the carbs? No, you just move more. So you go on the regular walks and eat less. Like simple. But I don't know, people like to overcomplicate things. So my main diet is like eggs in the morning, beef, potatoes, rice, milk, peanuts as well, and steak. Like that's all. I don't overcomplicate anything. And then as far as the diet goes, this is all thing I will change. So every week, and this takes like quite a lot of discipline, but I remove 100 calories every week till I'm satisfied with my physique. So every week I'm at 3,300 a day, and then like over a week 3,200, then 3,100, then 3,000. But at the start I'll probably drop it by like 200 to 300 at the start, and then slowly taper down. And I've briefly touched on this at the beginning, but actually I think it was last year I got too lean. So I was starting to, I don't know, I was literally getting too lean. I had to up the calories again. So that's just genetics. Some people can get shredded on like 3,000 calories. Some need like 1,500, just the way it is, okay? And I believe I was at like 2,200 calories at my lowest. So I had to stop there and start increasing. Like most people just overcomplicate it. You just eat less and move more. Like that's as simple as it gets. And here's the cardio myth. Is another mistake I see. I see a lot of fat people, like no disrespect or something, but they just do cardio the whole time. Like that's not a long-term solution. The best weight loss hack is actually just building muscle. So they're better off. I know they want to lose weight. That's why they're doing cardio, but they've been lied to, and it's just a tool. So let's say you do cardio for 20 minutes, and if you weigh more, you're going to burn more because that's just the way it is. Like a 200-pound guy is going to burn more calories because it's harder to actually move than like a 100-pound guy. So he is going to burn calories doing cardio, but it's not that much, okay? The best long-term practice is actually just to build muscle. there's this thing called body recomposition, where you can actually lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty difficult, but at the start, when you're first starting out, it's pretty easy. Okay, and like my exact cardio routine is going to be like 3 to 4 times a week, probably 4. And like the other days, I'll do sauna. So every other day, I'm going to do cardio, and the rest of the days, I'll do sauna. And also daily walks. So like 35 minutes of walking outside. It also helps. And it's also good for digestion after you've eaten a meal. Another thing I missed on the diet, I only eat twice a day. So at 1 p.m., I eat my first meal, and I fast from like, I wake up at around 7, and then I fast till 1. Just much easier when I have to work. I'm much more clear and sharper in my like tasks I do. So yeah, I just eat twice a day. My first meal is like 2,000 calories. So yeah, I have to walk after that. And then my last meal is around like 7, 8 p.m. That's when I have dinner. So yeah, that's just one thing I left out during my diet presentation. But yeah, cardio, it's not the end all be all, but it's just a tool to decrease your calories, okay? So yeah, you shouldn't really rely on this, but it just makes it easy so you don't have to like cut your food to the extreme. So you can just do more cardio. So yeah. And yeah, genes, like genetics, also play a massive role, okay? So as I said at the beginning, my body tends to lean more towards the lower body fat side. Like I believe I was like 56 kilograms in this photo. I think I was like 16 or 17, probably 16. And yeah, so my body, it's easy for me to get shredded, okay? Like it's very hard to actually put on weight. Like in a good year of bulking, obviously weight gain and muscle gain isn't the same. But in a year of bulking, I'll probably gain like 3 kilograms of muscle, which isn't that bad. But most people can gain like 10 kilograms of weight, not muscle, in like 2 months. So yeah, it's very difficult for me to actually put on weight and put on size, but it's easy to get lean. So yeah, there's wins, and you win some, you lose some, okay? And yeah, so just said body leans toward being low body fat. So yeah, I also enjoy cutting a lot more than bulking. Like it's, most people can't comprehend this, but it's really difficult for me to eat a lot of food. Like 3,300 calories a day, it's pretty difficult to actually eat throughout the day for me. So it is quite a lot of food, and especially if you eat like pretty healthy whole foods and not like pizza. Like I can easily eat like 6,000 calories a day from pizza, but that's not going to work, okay? You need to be eating, if you want to make like quality gains, whole foods and steak, eggs, yeah, lean proteins the best. So last quote or last slide of the presentation is from Arnold, and pain makes me grow. Growing is what I want. Therefore, for me, pain is pleasure. Okay, so that's really resonates with me, because I really enjoy pain, because I know the byproduct of pain is growth, right? You can't achieve anything worthwhile without going through periods of pain and suffering, okay? Like going to the gym, your muscle goes through a lot of tension, okay? A lot of pain, especially when you train till failure. You train really hard, and most people don't know what training hard looks like, okay? Like there's tears coming out of your eyes. That's how hard you train, and that's painful, okay? And obviously, after that, obviously not the day after, but a year after, 2 years after that, you'll see the byproduct of all that pain you went through, and that is a good physique. If you just indulge in pleasure all day long, that's also going to lead to pain, right? So either way, you have to face pain. Like when you go through periods of lots of pleasure and leisure time, afterwards you feel like shit. You feel depressed and you feel anxious because you indulge in pleasure. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video where like if you go through pain, there's a equal amount or more pleasure that comes from it. That's like through fulfillment and just joy. Like when you go through painful periods, like no one has ever went to the gym and was like, damn, I regret that. Like no one. So if you go through pain, you never regret it. Trust me. But if you go through pleasure, you will always regret it. Not always, but most of the time. Okay. So yeah, that's also why I switched business models. Like I wanted to go through, they call it a moat. Like it's a barrier that you have to go through in order to achieve success in whatever business. And it was extremely painful. I had to learn lots of skills. But I know most people aren't willing to do that, right? So I have to learn, like with sales, it's obviously a very good starting skill, but it's only one skill. So it's very, there's no moat. Like there's no barrier. There's a barrier to entry, obviously, but you only have to learn one skill. So it's very competitive. There's lots of salespeople. But for example, an agency, right? You have to learn sales, marketing, fulfillment, service delivery, outreach. Like there's that's just a few. There's a lot of skills you have to learn, right? So it's a bit more difficult. Still not like the hardest thing in the world, but it's just the barrier of entry is more difficult. So yeah, just choose the path of pain, and you will reap the benefits that I can guarantee. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. So obviously I have my exact routine down below in the description, and if you liked it, subscribe if you want, and you can like it if you liked it and dislike if you don't. And I would love to hear some feedback in the comments of what you thought about it. But yeah, I'm off to hit the gym now, so enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.